Hi, this is Aaron Marshall with Ratio Christi here at UNC Wilmington. Okay, so you want to defend the truth claims of Christianity. Well, at Ratio Christi, we like to use what's called a classical model of Christian apologetics. What does that mean? It means that what we're going to try to do in defending the faith is we're going to try to do three things. The first thing we're going to try to do is settle certain philosophical foundations that we think we have to have settled before we can move on to other arguments. Most importantly with that is, what is truth? Which we'll talk about here in a minute. So we settle the question of what is truth, then we move on to arguments for God's existence. And we do that for a specific reason, because if I can give you good arguments for God's existence, but all you just say back to me is, well, that's just your truth. My truth is there is no God. Then it doesn't really matter if I can give you good arguments. So I have to settle these fundamental philosophical questions first before I give you arguments for God's existence. And then finally, in our three-step approach, we then look at the truth claims of the Bible. Most importantly, is Jesus who he said he was? So this is what we call a classical argument for Christian apologetics, starting with philosophical foundations, moving to arguments for God's existence, and then finally the reliability of the New Testament. And that's what we're going to do in these next series of videos as we're publishing them here on this YouTube channel, as we walk you through a classical argument for the truth claims of Christianity. So let me just ask you this first. Does truth matter to you? Maybe you're a skeptic, maybe you're somebody who's wrestling with these things and you've stumbled across these videos. And Frank Turek has a great question that he asks people before he starts engaging in explaining to them what truth is and why it matters. He asks them this: if I could prove to you, beyond whatever standard you require, that the truth claims of Christianity are in fact true, if I could prove that to you, and I'm not saying I could, but if I could, would you become a Christian? The reason that's such a good question is because it exposes the reality of where you are. If you say yes to that question, hey, yeah, of course, I'm willing to go where the evidence leads, then great. Let's now start looking at some of these evidences. But the reality is, I've had many people tell me no to that question. They tell me, of course I would not become a Christian because God is evil or these other kind of things. Now, what does that tell me? It tells me that that their doubt is mostly emotional, not intellectual. Now, that's fine, because that's just exactly where that person is. But it means if your doubt is emotional and not intellectual, then I don't necessarily it's probably not helpful for me to give you intellectual arguments. What you need is for me to more give you pastoral care. I need to befriend you. I need to love on you, because you are dealing with hurts and all these other things that are shading the way that you see God. And it's not intellectual doubt, it's emotional doubt. So that question, if I can answer all of your questions about Christianity, would you become a Christian, is really good to sort of set the scene, set the case, to find out where that person is, and then you can decide, do I want to give them arguments, or do I just need to love on that person? So understanding these things is really important, like I said, for a classical argument for Christian apologetics, which we'll walk through in the next couple of videos. And we'll start off with what is truth. We'll do that in the next video. So remember, here at Ratio Christi at UNC Wilmington, we always want to ask good questions and we want to seek good answers. This is Aaron Marshall.